Good evening, everybody. I don't know who is in charge of the walk-on music, but it wasn't me. So I'm going to be curious to see how this goes this evening. Let everybody get to their seats. Again, good evening. My name is Amanda Smith. I am the current chair of the UCAIR board, and it's really my pleasure on behalf of the board and the staff of Utah Clean Air Partnership to welcome you to our 5th annual UCAIR Summit. I enjoy this summit every year. It's one of the things that I look forward to because it's really an opportunity for us all to gather and engage as citizens and organizations and friends and talk about our partnerships, how we work together, and our shared goal of clean air, and how to continue this amazing life we have in Utah. And I don't know about all of you, but just being upstairs and here, I really feel this is the one event every year where I am truly amongst friends, and I could spend all evening talking to people. It's one of the most fun events I go to. I want to thank Governor Herbert for being with us tonight. Give him a round. As many of you know, I had an incredible opportunity to work for the governor when I served as the executive director of the Department of Environmental Quality. And in that role, I had firsthand experience with his commitment to clean air and air quality. And I really look forward to hearing from him. He'll be speaking a little later this afternoon. I'd also like to acknowledge the other elected officials that are here with us tonight, many of whom are part of the bipartisan Clean Air Caucus. And I'd like to have all of you folks stand up, all members of the Clean Air Caucus. And thank you for your persistent work on air quality legislation. It's hard for me to see out there, but let's give them a hand. And I want to point out that if you were here 5 years ago, that was a much smaller group, and every year that caucus grows and we get more great ideas and more legislation to help with clean air. So again, just if we could give a round of applause to the governor and our elected officials, that would be great. It's been my honor to serve as the chair of UCAIR Board of Directors, in large part because we have an amazing board of directors. I'm privileged to work with them. I learned so much from them, and I would like them all to please stand as well. And Steve Sands, you can keep standing. I'd like to give a special acknowledgement to Steve Sands, who's been my friend for many years, but he has also been with UCAIR since the beginning. He's one of the founding members, and he was the chair of our board the entire time until last year. And he really took this organization from its infancy to what you see today, and I just want to give you a special thank you. On behalf of our board, I'd also like to thank our foundation sponsors, and this is going to be a long list, so bear with me. Rocky Mountain Power, Chevron, doTERRA, Dominion Energy, the Gardner Company, George S. and Dolores Story Eccles Foundation, Intermountain Health, Marathon Oil, Mark Miller Toyota, Maverick, Penna-Powers, S-Power, Rio Tinto Kennecott, University of Utah Hospitals and Clinics, Big West Oil, Merit Medical, the Utah Hospital Association, who's celebrating 100 years, and the Utah Department of Environmental Quality, near and dear to all of our hearts. Please thank me in joining these partners, in thanking these partners. And now it is my pleasure to invite UCAIR's Executive Director, Thom Carter, to the stage. Thom has been a force to be reckoned with. He has worked tirelessly for this organization, and I think he's probably been out and met each of you individually and helped put this together. So Thom, please come up. And again, thank you all for being here tonight, participating.
Thank you, Amanda. Good evening, everybody. When I started this job in October of 2017, I never could have imagined what was in store for me. Serving this position has been a great honor, something that I jump out of bed every day excited to do. This summer, we went through some structural changes with our board, something that every organization does when it grows in the way that UCAIR has. I want to take a moment, as Amanda did, and thank Steve Sands for his years of service as our board chair. Steve is a passionate advocate for air quality and for UCAIR. He has played an important role in our successes, and I'm deeply indebted to him. In fact, we all are. Thank you, Steve. Dr. Robert Payne served as the vice chair alongside Steve for many years as well, and I want to thank Rob for his service. Thank you, Rob. Our new executive committee, made up of Amanda, Dr. Liz Joy of Intermountain Healthcare, Scott Baird of DEQ, Paul Hacking from Twilla Technical College, are fantastic to work with, and I appreciate their commitment and the trust they have in me and the staff. And to the rest of the board, thank you. Yeah, sure. They're great. Some of you may already know this, but our plan wasn't to hold the event here at the Union Event Center. We had booked a new space we thought would be big enough based on our growth we had seen between our third and our fourth event. Well, thanks to all of you here, that venue wasn't big enough. In fact, we probably still need a little more space. This is a great problem to have. You, all of you, have demonstrated how committed you are to clean air here in Utah. We truly value your commitment and partnership. Amanda has already thanked some of our sponsors. I would like to personally thank a few more. At the Cirrus level, the Utah Department of Environmental Quality, Big West Oil, Chevron, Dominion Energy, Gardner Company, George S. and Dolores Doré Eccles Foundation, Holly Frontier, Intermountain Healthcare, Marathon Oil, Maverick, Merit Medical, Rio Tinto Kennecott, Rocky Mountain Power. At the Cumulus level, doTERRA, Ivory Homes, Lux Catering, Mark Miller Toyota, Oakland Construction, Panna Powers, Smiths, S-Power, University of Utah Hospitals and Clinics. And at the Stratus level, Ancestry, Boeing, Chick-fil-A, Colmena Group, Fidelity Investments, Geneva Rock, Holland & Hart, Larry H. and Gail Miller Family Foundation, Lime, Pack Size, Silver Eagle Refining, Staker Parsons, Waste Management, White Rabbit Advertising, Zions Bank, and the Utah Hospital Association, who is celebrating their 100 years this year. As I look around this room filled to capacity, thank you to our table sponsors as well. Please see a list of all of these sponsors in your program, and please join me in giving all of our organizations a round of applause. It is now our privilege to hear from our founder, Governor Gary R. Herbert. When Governor Herbert was sworn in as the 17th governor of Utah 11 years ago, he saw a need for the people of Utah to be better engaged and aware of what was going on with air quality. His vision was for them to be part of Utah's air quality solution. UCAIR is a product of that vision. The governor worked with Amanda, his then chief of staff, Derek Miller, his environmental advisor, Alan Matheson, the air quality board, chaired at that time by Steve Sands, and other stakeholders to develop this organization. We were tasked with 3 objectives: to educate Utahns so they better understand the air quality problem and to help them find a way to be part of the solution, to provide grant funding for projects and programs that will help drive down emissions and to help shift behaviors, and to develop and strengthen partnerships across the state to take politics out of air quality so we could stop pointing fingers and start working towards solutions. Governor Herbert, we have taken your vision and run fast with it. We hope you are proud of what we are doing here. We hope that as you look back on your time leading our state, you will see UCAIR as a part of a long-lasting legacy of profound success. Ladies and gentlemen, please help me welcome our friend, Governor Herbert.
Well, thank you, Thom, and thank you, Amanda, and all members of the board, and to all of you for being here this evening. It is encouraging as we think back in these few years to where we started and where we're at today. I think everybody has a greater appreciation for our responsibility to be good stewards of the earth, to take care of our home, make sure that we in fact do what we can to improve the environment, and particularly the emphasis on air quality, which we talk about here, is a significantly important thing for all of you here and for the people of Utah. So thanks for everybody for what they're doing. I certainly want to recognize Thom and Amanda and their efforts. Scott Baird, our Executive Director for our Department of Environmental Quality. Members of the legislature who are helping us now put more money into this effort and helping with awareness and also doing things that are going to make the air cleaner. Other elected officials from the local government, again, that we appreciate them, some of them being the loudest voices on this. And we're particularly happy for those who have put some of their time and talent and resources, our donors and sponsors, certainly this event here tonight, that make it all possible. Let me just mention a couple of things here as you're getting ready for dinner, and please do eat your salads. We can multitask here. I think all of us have probably come to appreciate in a more significant way the challenge that we uniquely face as a state. We have inversions. That's not an excuse. It's just something we need to understand and realize that we have certain times of the year when we have gunkier air, or at least the potential to have gunkier air, which means we've got to do even more to make sure that we don't pollute as much. And for our metropolitan area, the good news is we pollute less per capita than other parts of the country, but we have this inversion, this lid that comes on, and nobody likes to go out there and see the gunky air days and the unsightliness of it. And it's not just about an aesthetic thing, it really is about public health and safety. And those things, certainly the government has a role to play and help leading out, making sure that we have good quality air that we breathe in each and every day. 8 years ago when we started this program, the UCAIR Clean Air Partnership, and looking for how we were going to promote it as an awareness campaign, I happened to say in our group meeting that, you know, I care about clean air, don't you care about clean air? And hence in that discussion came the tag UCAIR. UCAIR, we all care about our air quality. And I appreciate the strides we've made, and the work's being made, I think, is significant. Let me just mention a couple of things that we're making a really positive headway when it comes to air quality here in the state, and particularly along the Wasatch Front. For example, you know, just a little over a decade ago, you know, we started making some significant efforts here in cleaning up the air and have reduced the pollution by about 30% along the Wasatch Front, for example, in spite of the fact that we've had about a 30% increase in people who call the Wasatch Front home. So we're polluting less, even though we have more people that are out there polluting. And we've had really about a 49% decrease in pollution per capita. So significant strides as people are joining the bandwagon saying, I've got a role to play and I can do my part. When I came into office, we had about 18 gunky days, red days we call them, when it's hazardous to your health to be outside. We have people that say, you know, we have the worst air in America, and sometimes that spike may be as bad as anything that we find in the United States. But again, by comparison, we hear people say you're as bad as LA. Maybe on that day we are. But we had 18 bad air days when LA was having about 150. So the comparison, as we look at it, you know, is not an excuse, but at least put it in kind of the classification and comparison where we can see where we're at and what we've done. 18 when I came in, we were in fact designated as a seriously uncompliant, serious non-attainment rather, for air quality by the EPA. But with the work that's been done by you and others and the efforts of our Department of Environmental Quality, we went from 18 down to 8, down to 6, and this past winter, this past December, this is our inversion time, December, January, now into February, we have had zero red days, 2 orange days, and the rest have been moderate to good. So we've made some significant headway when it comes to cleaning up the air quality along the Wasatch Front. Yeah, that deserves an applause. If I had an applause line, that's it. Another new addition, which you've heard about, which is something that's really going to help us move the needle even better and certainly maintain, because for the first time now we've in fact, this is the first area that's been taken out of non-attainment. And so we're in compliance with all the federal regulations here on the Wasatch Front. That's good news for all of us. But we've had our refineries step up on a voluntary basis. We've been working with them for a number of years, and they have said, we're going to be good corporate citizens, and we're going to start producing what we call Tier 3 fuels. They don't have to do this. There's ways to get around it, but they've decided we're going to do it. So our three refineries that we have, Eagle, Marathon, and Chevron, along with Utah-based Sinclair, are now pumping in their retail outlets, Chevron, Texaco Speedway, and some of the Sinclair stations, now Tier 3 fuel. Tier 3 fuel burns cleaner. As most of you know, most of the pollution we see out there on gunky days tends to come out of tailpipes. We've done a lot with industry and rules and regulations, about 22 of them we've put in place to help encourage the corporations to in fact pollute less, and they are. But we had about 45% of what's out there in the air comes out of tailpipes. So this Tier 3 fuel, even no matter what car you're driving, will reduce about 15 to 20 to maybe up to as much as 25% reduction in the pollution coming out of your tailpipe. If you happen to have a Tier 3 automobile, which is 2017 or newer, and you burn Tier 3 fuel in it, now you're getting some really significant pollution savings. You'll reduce the pollutions out of your tailpipe by about 80%. And although that doesn't mean the congestion is going to be any less on the roads out there, that's another issue, it does reduce the pollution. It's like taking 4 out of every 5 cars off the road. So again, a significant effort to, in fact, that we're going to see some real positive results, particularly this next year, when it comes to pollution outside in our air quality. Let me just mention, too, what the state is doing. You know, we're trying to lead by example. We have a large fleet ourselves. We're doing things that help people with telecommuting, so that we have about 2,500 of our employees now that are teleworking, meaning they don't have to drive in from where they live. They're in more remote locations. That's taking them off the road, and that's leading by example, and it's helping us keep the air cleaner. We have put funding in place to reduce the use of wood-burning fireplaces. We'll replace them to help change them out, wood-burning stoves, a disordinate amount of pollution that comes out of our fireplaces and wood-burning stoves. And in addition to that, we're providing funds to start a network of electric car vehicle charging stations. Electric cars seem to be the wave of the future. We have what's called range fear. People buy electric cars, usually don't travel too far away from their home area or where they're plugging in. And they're a little reluctant to drive very far, not knowing if there's going to be another station to plug into and how they're going to get back. So we've asked our legislature for $100 million. We asked it last year. We got 29, which is about 25 million more than we've ever received before, which shows that the legislature is taking this serious and saying we've got to put resources towards this effort of cleaning up our air quality. And again, it touches many levels. It's not just the public health issue. That's the most important part. But it's going to slow down our ability to have economic growth and development take place if we don't, in fact, address this issue. I've asked for another $100 million this year, about 66 million to go into electric charging infrastructure. We think that's going to happen. It's a little bit more in jeopardy because of the tax reform issue that hasn't been completed. This money has to come out of the general fund. I think Rocky Mountain Power is trying to step up and help with some private sector money. I hope that happens. And the other money is going to go into some issues like double tracking front runner. And that's something that needs to happen, and I think that will help us again take people off the road, still have convenience, which we want to make it as convenient to take transit as it is to drive in your automobile. That's our goal, and we're going to try to see if that can happen. Our overall goal is to provide a statewide reduction of 25% per capita of our emissions by 2026. That's an ambitious goal. We reduce the timeline and increase the result, and we're on track to do that ambitious goal. So I feel very good about where we've been, what we're at today, and what we're going to be doing over the next few years. I think we're in a good place when it comes to being good stewards of the earth and providing relief when it comes to the pollution that we cause here in our air quality. So let me just finish there and kind of finish where I started. Again, I appreciate the fact we have a lot of people concerned about it, more than ever before. The fact that the size of our dinner now is doubled. We'll be giving awards to people who are making a significant contribution. But the message is we all have a role to play. We all can do something. If we all do something, a lot will happen. Even if what we do is a little. All of us doing a little means we're going to do a lot. So I appreciate the fact that this is really a team effort and many people are participating on the team. This is a significant issue for us. Again, the public health and safety of our people is number one for us, and certainly should be the role of government to help that to happen. We appreciate those in the private sector stepping up. And when I was inaugurated, I said if we would in fact create more public-private partnerships, so we had parallel opportunities for us to work together, what we could accomplish was unlimited. And I still believe that today. This partnership of working together is really creating great opportunities for us to have positive success in the state of Utah. So thanks for all you're doing. Good luck. God bless. Let's all keep it clean out there. Thank you very much.